Terra Tech. If you've been following pot stocks, you should be familiar with this name. But as we've mentioned in our previous video, in this industry, they may be one of the many who just won't hesitate to manipulate shareholders. Why would you say that, you may ask? Well, we'll cover that question in a second. Last week, Terra Tech filed their latest quarterly report. They also proudly released a statement that claimed 700% increase in revenues since the beginning of last year. Okay, that's true, but you must have noticed something odd about revenues. With them, you just don't get the full picture. They don't include costs, profits, or anything detailed. At best, they represent growth in operations. This is why full financial reports are needed. They allow you, the investor, a better view on how your company of choice evolves over time. Now, under the light of what we just said, let's make a quick breakdown on Terra Tech's actual financials, which frankly aren't quite as rosy as press releases make you believe. Here comes the positive. Cash reserves rose to around $3 million, up from $27,000 in March of 2013. Revenues reached $560,000 for this quarter as opposed to $66,000 at the beginning of last year. Total assets doubled to $8.4 million. The negative comes next. $6 million in current liabilities, and the really big problem, net loss. It was recorded almost $5 million just for the first quarter of this year. For the whole of last year, it was $6 million. Okay, time out. Let's review what we just saw, but in a bigger context. Terra Tech expanded operations a lot, acquiring edible gardens, and after the pot stock craze began. To sustain the growth though, they burdened themselves with debt. And there's another fact users on investor forums are quick to point out. Terra Tech is the leaseholder of land while independent farmers make use of it. The company developed hydroponic systems, but to date they made almost no money from those, and they still rely heavily on other producers' greenhouses. Also, the majority of their revenues come from reselling produce, not marijuana sales. What's more, if you take a look at their financials, not on a year-by-year basis, but quarter-by-quarter, revenues are actually going down. Another notable thing is that on Friday, the SEC released an investor alert on marijuana stocks. They stated that fraudsters often exploit the latest growing industry, in this case, marijuana, to lure investors with the promise of high returns. Basically, if there was any doubt that the SEC had their sights on pot stocks, it's official now. So a volatile industry, the possibility that the industry can come under fire at any moment, and a not so good quarter result, well, for the time being, possible Terra Tech investors may want to refrain from buying stock. This is Martin Nadenov for HotStocks.com.
I have a small amount of money to invest and I want to gamble in the market. I'm looking for a penny stock that'll go up and turn it into $100,000 or $1 million.